Vikings. Great foul. And Rodgers throws downfield for Finley, who made a great move in the open field. And Jermichael Finley takes it to the end zone and in. Touchdown, Green Bay. 62 yards.
I'll tell you where that man went. He is right here with me today, and I'm pumped because we welcome in a man that is the definition of everything is bigger in Texas, whether that's bicep size, whether that's football accolades, or even his fandom for his favorite football teams. An honorable mention for all Big 12, a Super Bowl champion, and a staple on your fantasy football rosters. This beast of a tight end had 223 career receptions for 2,785 yards and 20 touchdowns. This while, of course, flexing that double bicep on the defense. Ladies and gentlemen, he's your favorite former tight end and the man who will identify with your hunger for a title. It is Jermichael Finley. How's it going, man?
I'm awesome, man. How are you doing, buddy?
Pretty good, man. I really appreciate you coming on the show. Shout out to your agent, Kim, who works really hard, one of the best out there. And I really appreciate her organizing this for us. And I'm super pumped to talk about your career and all the stuff that you're doing currently today. So thank you for your time, man.
Anytime, buddy. I'm ready when you are.
Of course. So let's start out. Let's go roll the clock back a little bit here. Started out high school, D-Ball High School in D-Ball, Texas. I believe I'm saying that right. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Die-Ball.
Die-Ball. Okay. So you not only started as a tight end, you also played defensive end, wide receiver, safety, punter, and kicker. And as a senior, you were first team 3A All-State by the team or by the Texas Sports Writers Association. Again, a bunch of great stuff in high school. You had offers from Texas, Arizona, Houston, Texas A&M, and Texas Tech. Now, I'm curious, you grew up as a star football player in Texas, and I'm sure there's a lot of pressure because Texas is known to be one of the best states in producing talent. First, my first question is, what are some of the craziest recruiting pitches that you had? And then how did you eventually get Texas, which I imagine probably was one of your dream schools, to get on board with recruiting you?
Yeah, absolutely. It's crazy. My best recruiting trip was Arizona, and that's when they had Lute Olson. They had Stoops there, football coach, and I remember going there, and it was different for me because I never flew on the plane, and so I did that and went out there, and man, what a great town as far as Tucson, and clean. It was a really clean campus, and man, the guys took me to the game. I went in the basketball locker rooms and tried on a jersey, and it was just like, I'm like, man, I'm on the team. I'm ready to take the court, because once again, I was supposed to go to school to play basketball, and Texas came across with Mac Brown, and he was like, you can come to Texas and play football here. And I was like, why not? You know what I mean? It's a great state of Texas. I'm here close to home. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it was the smartest move for me, and to stay close to home to my grandmother.
I love that, man. Again, like, it works out as a great scenario for you. And you had a great college career, 76 catches, 947 yards, 5 touchdowns, and only 2 seasons there. You played in every game your redshirt freshman year, which I think most people don't realize how hard that is, because a lot of people do take that redshirt year. They don't really play very much. And you broke school records for receptions for tight ends right off the bat. And not only that, but in your sophomore season, you broke the school record for receiving yards by a tight end. And I mean, again, you crushed it there. So what was your college experience like? And then what was it like playing for Mac Brown?
It was awesome. He's one of my top coaches, just because he's a player's coach. He's the guy that's going to come in if you're in a dining hall or having breakfast. He's going to come by and sit by you, have a conversation, and just ask you how your day going. So it was just the things that he did off the field to help his players and let his players know that he's right here with them.
Yeah, and I mean, again, great time while you're there. You really seemed like you were developing into one of the best tight ends coming out, and you ultimately got recognized for that. You get drafted by the Green Bay Packers in 2008 in the 3rd round. And again, I think most people realize that, again, if you're a tight end getting drafted in the first couple rounds, 2-3 rounds, you're obviously making a mark here. And you go again to the Packers, the Cheeseheads. Did you have any idea you were going to get drafted there? And then ultimately, what was the culture shock? I'm sure going from Texas to a place like Green Bay, where it's a lot colder and different type of atmosphere. What was that like for you?
I mean, it was freaking different, especially coming from a big city like Austin, Texas, whereas, you know what I mean, it's city life. It's the motto there is keep it weird. So it's a very, very weird city. I loved every bit of it, though. Loved being a Longhorn. But then I get drafted to a town where, you can get below zero, which I never experienced that in my life. And I had a buddy that played there with, at the time, Johnny Jolly and Mike Montgomery at the time. And I called them guys. I was like, man, you better bring every Nintendo game you have because it's nothing to do. It's cold, it's gray, and it's all about football. And I caught that all about football. And it really is. And that it shows you, as the Green Bay Packers doing well now, it's nothing to do. It's all about detailing your work and going to work every day, and that's playing football in the National Football League.
And I think it's interesting too. It's you go to some of these places, like you have Las Vegas Raiders, you have the teams in California, and like it must be easy to stay out of trouble because, like you said, there's nothing to do. You don't want to go outside. It's like it's all mapped out for you to, like, if you get in trouble in Green Bay, then
Right.
like, there's other things going on at that point.
Absolutely, and that was our thing. If you get in trouble in Green Bay, you're looking for it, and that I wasn't about that. So I thought that was. I thought God was looking down on me on that one, sending me to Green Bay, and what a great fan base and what a great town.
Yeah, I mean, again, your time in Green Bay. I mean, you beat out Tony Humphrey, eventually Donald Lee to become the man, and you broke out in 2009. You had your first 100-yard game, led the team in targets the second half of the year, set franchise record 159 receiving yards at that point. And you had 200 receiving yard games in your first 3 games the following year in 2010. Now, you were a fantasy football darling, man. Like, you were in the fantasy football community. Like, you were like the hip tight end. Everybody's like, I got to get some Jermichael Finley, man. He's just crushing it right now. Did you feel like you were just in a different type of zone during that time?
I was, man. I thought me and 12 had a great chemistry, great a knit for each other, what the ball should be, the ball placement, where I'll be at on the route. And you do feel them kind of things, especially during the course of a game or even during the course of a season. You just feel heated up, you feel hot, you feel confident. That's a big thing in the National Football League is where's your mental aspect? Because if you go on the field thinking about the last game or the last drop, you're gonna continue to drop them. So that was one of the things that was clicking well, especially as I got past my first year.
Yeah, and I'd be remiss. You mentioned 12. So the first thing I got to ask you, on your Twitter account, you retweeted a graphic showing that you caught 19 touchdowns from Aaron Rodgers, which is actually the 7th most of any pass catcher in his entire career. You've obviously praised his accomplishments, of course, but you have said that you're kind of critical of some leadership that he's had in the past. I think you said, if I'm not mistaken, on ESPN's Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, you said that the eyes and face tells everything about his personality. You don't think he has that hunger to go win another championship. How come you feel that way about Aaron Rodgers? And not saying I disagree, but it's more obviously you're one of the many teammates that seems like they've come out about Aaron Rodgers and kind of his the way he approaches the game a little bit here.
Yeah, man, it wasn't that. Once again, I'm a competitor. Aaron is a competitor, and I know. I played with him for several years, and the thing is, I know what he got, what he has, an expectation he holds himself to. So week 1 was just waking him up, and obviously you've seen it woke him up over the year, over the season. I'm sorry, and it wasn't nothing towards Aaron. Like I said, I'm a big fan. I have a kid over here. He's 14 now. He was in. He was raised in the National Football League, and now cannot weave him away from the Green Bay Packers for anything. He's a big fan, so. We diehards over here, so I'm excited about what I see in the season now and what I'm seeing from Aaron and 17 playing together and getting that chemistry going. So, hey, I'm excited what them boys did this year.
Yeah, you just traveled to one of their most recent games, right?
Yes, sir. I went to the game. It was for my guy now is 14 years old, Caden. We went for his birthday, and he was like, Dad, I want to do the fan experience. I was like, God dang it, boy. And so I went out there, and I was like, how can I, disguise and like hide from, people going crazy in the stadium. So I dressed like a little Eskimo, and I just hid. it was probably what the game was 2 degrees there. So it was awesome though. It was a good experience for my kid because, like I said, he's always in a box and he never got that fan experience.
Do they think, like, when you were in Green Bay, I'm assuming for like a day or two, do people recognize you on the street? Like if you're walking without anything like to protect kind of your face or anything, do they recognize you right away?
Like I said, I never really move unless I go to brunch or it's back and forth. But we wear the helmets, man. So people really, it's not like basketball where
Right.
it's up close and personal and things like that.
Well, I will say, I think part of since you sparking 12, I feel like if they win a championship this year, you should get another Super Bowl ring. It just seems right.
Yeah, you got to give me another ring because he was asleep the first game of the season. he was asleep at the wheel.
Yeah, I mean, hey, sometimes you just need a little kick in the behind, and that's what you did, man. So, I mean, again, I'm loving what I'm seeing from the Packers as well. They're the #1 seed in the NFC, and they're looking like a tough out. I think obviously the NFC Championship game, which I feel like it's a matter of time before it's between the Bucs and Packers. They just got to get over that hump this year.
Yeah, you just got to get over the hump, and the thing is that when Green Bay comes to the playoff in the one and done situation, it's just like they just go down the wrong path and not stick to the game plan. They try to do too much.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously the bye week is not, necessarily a good thing. You know what I mean? Because of you're not having game situation. You know what I mean? You can practice with the loud noise, with the crowd noise. You can do all of them things, but if you don't have like the fans and adversity during the course of a game, it doesn't work.
Yeah, and I'm sure, I mean, fans are going to be coming out for Green Bay, and it's going to be crazy. But back to you for a second. I want to talk about kind of in 2011, 2012. You had a 3-touchdown game in 2011. Obviously, you continued to cement yourself as one of the great young tight ends in the game. And in 2012, you're averaging over 10 yards per catch, 40 yards per game, 10 touchdowns over that stretch. But 2013, you have that reception, you collide helmet to helmet with the defender, and then you become immediately paralyzed. Obviously, it's great. You obviously were able to eventually gain your the movement of your extremities. What's it like going through something like that? I can't even imagine what it's like on the football field.
Yeah, it's different because, you know what I mean? I was one of those players and one of those guys where I held myself to a high standard. You know what I mean? You're never supposed to put a number on your career or whatnot. You're just supposed to live game by game, season by season. But, you know what I mean? I was one of those guys where I wanted a Hall of Fame career. You know what I mean? I was wanting to be the best, and I thought I was the best. In my opinion, besides the Antonio Gates and the guys that the pass routing tight ends, I thought I put a lot of you know what I mean, accolades on the pass catching tight end. I should be one of those guys that they get called out. But like I said, man, it was a bittersweet thing. It was a sweet thing that I wasn't paralyzed forever. But the bitter part is that, you know what I mean, I was wanting to be one of those players that they got the yellow jacket.
I mean, again, sometimes the injuries are just unfortunate parts of the game, but you still left your mark on the football field. And
Absolutely.
ultimately, that's carried over to post-career where you got something great going. You've got the Elevate You, and I love how you do it because you have the last 2 letters of Elevate, TE capitalized. That's creative. That's as creative as I've seen. And so can you tell us about this unique thing you got going and helping athletes kind of get to that next level?
Absolutely, man. It was one of those things where, man, like I said, me and my kid was out, we was working, and I'm like, man, I'm working with my kid. Might as well pay it forward as far as giving it back to other kids. You know what I mean? And we was just talking. I was like, man, you elevating, bro. I was like, I should. You know, he was like, you should get something called Elevate You. I was like, I like that, bro. And I was just getting it out, you know what I mean, on the field or whatnot. So I got in you know what I mean, got in my office and just started jotting down things. And I'm like, man, I'm gonna pay it forward and go and give these kids the knowledge I have before we can over the time see player development. We can see kids doing well as far as not only on the football field or even basketball court, but, you know what I mean, growing up, being a man. And at the end of the day, seeing them work hard. And my main thing is finish. I don't care if you got to lay on the ground for 30 minutes. I'll sit here and we're going to finish whatever we had to do today. So it's one of those things where I instill into the kids how I worked trying to get to the NFL and how I worked when I got to the NFL. So just paying it forward.
I love that. And you also do it with former tight end Brandon Bostic, correct?
Oh yeah, Brandon Bostic. Man, I added another tight end, Eddie. He's trying to work himself into the NFL as we speak. And over the time, I'm keep adding guys. And the guys, the main key into adding guys into Elevate You is they got to have that high energy. Because I'm very high energy guy, up tempo guy, and man, I love every bit of it.
Yeah, I got to shout out Elevate You. And also Brandon Bostic, he was our first guy we've ever interviewed for this show. We've been doing this for about a year and a half. He was the first
Wow.
football guy we ever had. So got the two guys that Elevate You. I mean, you guys run a great program. And where can they check that out at if they're looking for more about the great stuff you guys do?
Of course, man. Now we're in the 2021 realm of life, and social media is big. So my platforms now are Instagram, IG, Facebook, and Twitter. And check me out, and you'll see the up-tempo workouts. You'll see how we work out. It won't be a surprise because I have all of my highlights and workouts on there. So I get some kids come in like shell shocked, and like I said, man, check me out.
Yeah, man. And before we get finished here, I got to throw some triple play fantasy rapid fire at you, Jermichael. This is what makes our shows unique. It's a little bit of this or that style questions to where you can't think too much. You just got to give me the first one that comes to your mind. You game?
Let's get it.
All right. First one. You can only pick one. Watch the Packers or the Longhorns?
Packers.
Right. I could tell that was a tough one. All right. French fries or onion rings?
French fries.
Stranded in Antarctica or the desert?
Damn it, boy. Antarctica.
It's a tough one. All right. See blurry all the time or you see black and white all the time?
See black and white.
All right. Be reborn in the past or in the future?
In the past.
Any particular reason?
Just because I had a great childhood.
Okay. I respect that. Be able to detect any lie or get away with any lie?
Oh, man. Get away with any lies.
I like it. Sandpaper as toilet paper or hot sauce as eye drops?
God damn it, boy. Fuck that. I'm using that. I'm using that sandpaper.
Well, you're the first person to say that, really?
Yeah, I ain't putting no hot sauce in my eyes. I wipe my ass though with some sandpaper.
That might be the first one I disagree with, but I mean, yeah, both are pretty bad. So there were a couple teams talking to you after your time with the Packers: the Seattle Seahawks, New England Patriots, Pittsburgh Steelers. If you had to pick one, which one?
The Seahawks, just because of I like the leadership of Russell Wilson at the time, and the Seattle.
Okay, I like the Seattle connection there. Last one. Be a TV. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Last one. Be a TV analyst or a coach?
A coach, just because of what I'm doing now is basically coaching and giving the kids what I know, the knowledge I know, and like I said, paying it forward.
I love that, man. Hey, Jermichael, really appreciate your time today. Again, one of the best guys I remember watching growing up. Again, a fantasy football darling at the tight end position. Truly appreciate you, man. And
Anytime,
please
bro.
plug anything you want to say to our audience before we get out of here.
Hey, man, like I say, every day try to give your best and, be happy, especially if we breathe it.